right, let's go ahead and get started with Doug Feinberg.
Who?
Doug Feinberg, newly shorn.
Coach, always good to see you. It's been too long.
Uh-huh.
So just what went into your decision-making to step away from this organization, so to speak, and potentially go into retirement?
It was a very easy decision, but it was hard to implement. Last year it was clear to myself, and I think some of the players, that I was running out of energy. And you have to do this job with a tremendous amount of energy. I just run my course in the coaching ranks. So at the end of the season, I told all the players in the exit interview that at this point in time, I am going to come back to be the coach next year because I didn't really have an alternative in my pocket. So I mentioned to Nikki that, if I'm forced into doing it, I'll do it. And I think it's the wrong move. But I encouraged her to go out and to find my replacement. And I told her that, I gave her some guidance of, I'd like to see our franchise is very high profile and we're still in our infancy stage. You get somebody with high profile basketball credibility, someone who's very driven for success. And, she talked about a couple of things and she brought up Becky's name. And I said, absolutely, that would be a wonderful thing for this franchise. And it would give me the opportunity to march off to some other land and not have to worry about this basketball team any longer. So I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. And so I'm very fortunate that, I'm leaving in place a very quality basketball team. Most of the time when coaches go away, they're fired because they suck or because, they leave a bad team they don't want to deal with anymore. I was fortunate to pass the transition to a quality up and coming young coach with a very good basketball team. So she set up for success immediately. So I'm very proud of the players and what they accomplished, how they've grown. You see the growth. And if I had stayed around also, I probably would have inhibited some of this growth. I didn't think that, the energy I didn't have. I told my wife, especially as I watched the first game, like, holy crap, they actually boxed out, which I never could get them to do. I never practiced it. I don't necessarily believe it in professional sports, but it works for them. And they seem very cohesive. And you see the growth of players like Jackie, who play in a different system and have better opportunities. So I think it was a win for everybody, including myself, to peace of mind and to just step aside.
If I can follow up, is this
Yep.
it for you? Would you anything that you come back to basketball in any NBA, WNBA, any role? Or are you happy to be just hunting and fishing and doing stuff with your family?
Well, first thing, I'm never going to coach again. I just don't have that kind of energy. I don't have that willpower. It's an all-consuming thing. Whether I participate in basketball going forward, I don't know. It's too early to tell. I just had 6 months off. I've never spent a summer at my farm in Michigan. I've had it for almost over 20 years now, and I've never been there in the summertime. So I'm looking forward to that. What the future holds, I don't really have a solid handle on right now. I'm just trying to take it, every day, every week, one day at a time, so to speak. But I'm having fun, and I'm relaxed. I have a good peace of mind about myself, and I don't have to worry about anybody else except me and my family, and that's a huge bonus.
Thanks, Bill.
Michelle?
Yeah, Bill, do you have any sort of role with the Aces in terms of advising them in any way, or have you done that during the transition? I guess that's my first question. Then I have a quick follow-up, please.
Yeah, when we made the decision that they made the decision, I'm going to secure Becky. Before that happened, they were going through. There really isn't a lot to do in the off season at that point in time, especially until it comes January when the free agency starts. So, logistic wise, when the schedule came out, I helped with, organizing playing schedules and hotels and all those things like that has to get done from a logistical perspective in the buses. We have a new people in different spots in the Las Vegas organization. So I had to help them along because we lost Dan Padover and we lost assistant coaches. So I had to help them out. That's pretty simple stuff. That's just nuts and bolts. Come free agency, I gave my 2 cents of what I thought the team was. I explained how the salary cap that I had set up, going not only from the past, but also going forward on what their their opportunities and their pitfalls are. We had a lot of players that are going to become of free agencies. You know, extensions were talked about, things like that. From a free agent perspective, I tried to help them out with understanding how many minutes they actually have. I told them that players like Plum and Jackie are going to play 36 minutes. That's who they are. They're not going to be very much minutes for us to go to get a quality free agent. So it just helped them figure out the planning for not only for this year, but also the year after and the year after that, from a salary cap perspective and what their team's going to look like, and who free agents are coming on the market in the next couple of years. Other than that, I'm a firm believer, and I've done it every time. I've watched my fourth time when I've left an organization, all the way back to the Pistons when I left in the middle of the season as a player. When I go, it's very important that I do not reach back and stick my fingers in anything. Unfortunately or unfortunately, I've been a very high profile presence in all the organizations that I've been in. And I never believe and I do believe in the new regime has to come in and make their own decisions. They're the ones that are responsible for going forward. And if I were to get involved, especially at the start, I may have inhibited some of that direction and some of them finding their way and they'll stub their toe. That's good. You know, you make mistakes, as long as they're not catastrophic mistakes. So everybody has to learn. Everybody's in new positions. Nikki was a new president. You have a new head coach coming in. You'll have a new staff. You have people in the organization being moved up in different roles. We hired in Jennifer Azzi, all the above. It's important that they work together and not have someone looking over their shoulder and trying to critique what they're doing. I just don't believe in that, and I would never get involved in that. Going forward, I'm unclear how I'm going to participate or not. I'm just sitting here right now watching the good things that are happening to this franchise. I like the way they play. I think it's a lot of fun to watch. And yeah, I don't know what the future holds, but right now I know that I'm going to go back home and go play some golf.
And what are you most proud of in terms of your influence on the WNBA, and what do you most want to see maybe over the next 10 years in terms of WNBA progress?
Well, I'm proud of a lot of things. Just helping get the league to where it is today. When I first came in, it was, college coaches, as an example, dominated by college coaches with college coach mentality. The game was, not with the shot, we changed the game and made it a physical game because they are professional athletes. They're not women playing. It's professional athletes, and they are physical. They want to be physical. So the shot changed all that. The 24-second clock, 8 seconds in the backcourt. That was like pulling teeth to get accomplished, and we finally got it accomplished. And just do different travel stuff. It's kind of a combination of a lot of things over the course of time. Nothing changes dramatically in one fell swoop. Talking to league all the time and prodding them about different rule changes and free agency stuff and all the above. Just being a part of the team that got this to where it is today. I think that is one of the things I am real kind of proud of also is when I first took over here and we got the All-Star game, I got the All-Star game back to where it's supposed to be. To have, the day before, the Saturday, all the skills competitions to show off the players and make it one big party. And I believe that once we did that, I believe now all the towns used to be that nobody wanted the All-Star game. It costs a bunch of money and a lot of work and all that. Now I think everybody wants the All-Star game. It's a big thing. And I think just the growth of the recognition of the ladies playing, the players. The players now are first and foremost. And I think that is a great thing for this league also.
Really?
Laimbeer with the Associated Press. Bill, the other night we were talking to you and I asked you a question about a very emotional season where you sort of took the backseat and allowed the ladies to step to the forefront of the bubble in regards to the Sacred Name campaign. We didn't get a chance to follow up because a very prominent figure during that time and at the All-Star game that you hosted here, she was a fan favorite, was Brittany Griner. If we could just maybe get your thoughts, comments on the situation, what she's enduring right now.
Well, you're talking about the bubble, and that was a big advancement for the WNBA because everybody was in one spot. So you saw everybody every day. You got to talk to people. You had to talk to referees. The league office was there. You watched how they operated, and each of the players on different teams got to see each other. Coaches got to see each other all the time, and other players. So it was a great growing experience for the league, and they all came together as one. It was very difficult, no question about that. Being 102 days of isolation and getting tested every day and all the stuff like that. But I think it made the league grow, it made the players grow. They bonded, they came up with the direction they want to take their platforms and where they want to go as a league from a social media and from a messaging perspective for the community. So I think while it was difficult and very hard, I think it was a great experience for the league. And I think it really launched them to where they are today and positioned them to be even more, not only more successful, but also more powerful voice in the world of sports.
Just a couple more questions. Sabrina?
Hey, Bill. You mentioned being able to watch the players on this team grow, under Becky. And I'm curious, just specifically related to Jackie, how have you seen her develop in this new system?
Well, Jackie's always been a work in process. And I told Jackie when I drafted her that she will not be measured by, her individual statistics. She'll be measured by how successful her team is and how much they win. And she took that to heart, and she played a subordinate role in many ways because we had very fine basketball players, and she was still learning how to play professional basketball. Her three ball was very hesitant for her to shoot. She didn't want to shoot it, or she didn't think it was her place to shoot it. Not kowtow, she acquiesced to Asia and Liz in many ways, and the floor wasn't opened up for her. So now you see why she was #1 pick in the draft, because she is an outstanding teammate. She does not care about herself. She cares about everybody else and cares about winning. So now the floor is opened up for her so she can attack. Her three ball is not even, she didn't even think twice about it. I watched her last game. She just raised up and shot a three ball right in the hoop. That's a big piece of her arsenal now and makes her so much harder to guard because she can get to the hoop. She can get to the mid range. And no one ever talks about it, but she plays really good defense. And Becky alluded to it. She shook her head and says she's just a consummate player. I think she's going to be hopefully an all-star, and I'm hoping she's going to be Olympian one day because I think she's that good.
Thank you.
Hi, Jack Levenberg, WNBA lead. How was the celebration on Thursday night, and what was it like to connect with some of the players that you've been coaching over the past couple of years?
Yeah, well, first I got to thank Mark Davis and Nikki Fargus for bringing me in here with my family and putting us up and taking care of us. Got a nice hotel room and dinners and things like that. That was really wonderful. It was a very quality thing to do. I'm back here, my first time seeing the players. I still haven't told them, why I left. They know it, but I haven't told them that yet. So, hopefully I'll do it individually. I'm not going to address them collectively. I don't think. I've thought about it, but I think I don't want to get in the middle of them, especially when they have so much going on right now and they're playing very well. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed being back here. This is a stop to come and visit, and I'm not going to live in Las Vegas again. But I enjoyed my time here. It's been a great ride. I'm very proud of where we are today as a franchise. And this franchise is something special. And I told, and I also want to thank MGM. MGM did one hell of a job of launching this franchise. They gave me all the opportunity to give my input. Obviously, one person can't do the whole job, and they had an army of people that are really helping out. We hired the right people over the course of time. They were very supportive. And I think the whole launch and now where we're at right now is Mark's taking this in level, the practice facility and spending money on the players. I think this franchise is special. I think it's going to be here to stay for a long time. And I think you're going to see players in this league really dying to come and play for the Las Vegas franchise.
Thank you.
And for what may be the last question ever asked of Bill Laimbeer at a press conference, Aislinn Jowers.
No pressure or anything, but hey, coach.
Hello.
I wanted to ask you about how your experience has been on the sideline, seeing your former players succeeding, as well as people who have been assistant coaches under you being in head coach positions now.
Your kind of legacy as a head coach.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. I've been fortunate to hire really quality people who want to learn and want to be successful in being coaches. Sometimes as players, I tell them I think they're going to be a coach like Katie Smith or Lynette Pearson, and they think I'm nuts. But I was right. My style is to empower. It's not about me. It's not about the assistant coaches, it's about the players, and to empower them to get the players to get where they need to be and to help train them. And I put structure in place of how it should be done, in my opinion, and what as a player and as a coach, I didn't want to be yelled at. I didn't want to be, browbeaten. I didn't want to practice for 5 hours a day. You just demand of them. I demanded of my assistant coaches a lot of things. And then in turn, they demand of the players certain things. And you have to trust them. You have to believe in them. And that will show, and be honest. Brutal honesty is what I've always been a characteristic of myself. And hopefully those that have worked for me have taken that and implemented that in what they do. But I'm proud of all the people that have worked for me. They've done a really nice job. Hopefully they have a couple of good things to say about me in the long run. But, I wouldn't be successful without their help. And I thank them all very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Now I go get the massive spread they put out for the media of free food. The quality stuff that they have.
12 o'clock Pacific time, tip on 8 here in an hour.
Thank you all.